Hi, my name is LD Valencia. Welcome to the Writing Board. Today I want to talk about who do I think should take over in A Song of Ice and Fire as the author. Now, this might seem like a crazy topic, a crazy idea, but for me personally, I've just been seeing like a decline in the news coming out from George R.R. Martin himself about his progress. A couple of years ago, it was like, I'm going to lock myself in this cabin and I'm going to finish it this year. And now it's like more cryptic and less positive. So for a while, I've been kind of like wondering who might take over for him if he's unable to do so. If it gets to the point in his life where he is unable to write anymore or passes away or whatever it might be, who could potentially be a stand-in to finish the series and take over for him. So I have 4 people that I think might be decent candidates, okay? Number 1 is kind of considered the godfather of the dark, grim fantasy, and that's Joe Abercrombie. I think he would be probably the first selection personally for a lot of people because he writes primarily grim, dark fantasy. And I think he would be probably the most natural choice for someone taking over a grim, dark world like Westeros and Essos, right? He's got plenty of series. He's got longer series. I think he would definitely be up to the task. I think he's someone who could take over, swoop in, and finish it because of he kind of knows the genre and everything. It also would be a challenge for him because his worlds are often laced with humor. There's a lot of like comedic elements in his writing, whereas that's not so much the case in George R. R. Martin's. His are very serious and somber. So that might be a different tone for him, but I think that's a strength that he could definitely kind of handle. My second pick would be Brandon Sanderson. If you followed me for a while, you probably know Brandon Sanderson is my favorite author. I love Stormlight Archives. I love Mistborn. I could just go on and on about why I think he's a great one. One of the reasons why I think he would be a good choice for this is because he's actually done it before. If you don't know, he finished the Wheel of Time series for Robert Jordan. So he's actually done this. He's actually been a stand-in, been given the permission to finish a series and bring it to completion and, cross the finish line. So I think he would be someone that could do it. He's also written very long series, so he knows what it is to plan things out and to see things to completion. So I think he could totally do it. His writing is not nearly as grim and dark, so I think it would be a challenge for him to write something that dark and that bleak and everything, because he does have a lot more hope in his books, whereas Westeros is a little bit darker. So it might be a challenge for him. Some of the content is definitely more intense than he really uses. He's generally fairly clean as far as that goes. So I think it might be a little bit of a challenge for him. Maybe he could co-author it with somebody, but I think he's someone that has the ability to do so. I don't know if it's the project that he would choose, but I think it's something that he's done. I think it's something he could totally handle with his prolific writing, and I think he'd be able to handle it in a much quicker pace than George is doing. My third one is maybe some people might think is a little bit of an odd choice, but Robin Hobb is someone who I think could finish his series. I think she is someone who knows deep emotional characters and story arcs. She knows characters and development. The Realms of the Elderling is a massive series with a bunch of different things going on in different places, and it really weaves together really well. So I think that's something that she has in her favor that not a lot of authors have done very well, where there's like all these different storylines and they come together and they kind of weave together and everything. Again, I don't know if the content is something that she would like really be into, but I think it's something that she could totally do. I think she has the chops to do this project if it came about and she was, a candidate and kind of showed interest in it. I think it's something that she could really do a lot with, like Jon Snow and Daenerys storylines. I think she could do a really good job of like weaving together what's going to happen with those two and how things are going to finish in a satisfying way, which we didn't get from the show, right? So that's another one. That's my third one. My last one might be considered like a fanboy choice, but I think it'd be really interesting to see someone like Pierce Brown take the helm. Obviously, Red Rising is an amazing series. It has such emotional depth. It does have similar kind of like intense content in it, and I don't think he would be too shy to steer away from that. I think he would lean into it and go for it. Obviously, he's mostly known for Red Rising, so this would be a whole different ball game because it'd be a little bit more fantasy. But I think it'd be something that he could do. I do think he has the expertise. He's written the whole Red Rising series. It's supposed to be coming out and being completed this summer is the last I've heard. But I think it's something that he could do. And it might be an odd choice. It might be like, some people might be like, oh, that's just because you love Pierce Brown. Yeah, I do. But I do think his writing, like Dark Age, like really could be, he could be a good fit for it. I think he's got a good knack for that type of writing with that deep intensity and that like bleakness. I think he could do it. So those are my 4 choices for who could replace George R. R. Martin if he was unable to finish it, and somebody else needed to step in to finish the series for him. So thanks so much for joining. If you have a name of someone that you think might be able to finish the series for him, I'd love to hear it in the comments and why you think that. So drop those in the comments, and I'd love to discuss a little bit more about what you guys think. Thanks so much. Bye.